Hi, this is Ms. Fazone, and this is a review of the factoring that we've gone over so far. All right, so let's start with what is factoring. Notice we are going over this every day. If you don't know what this is, that's a problem. You need to know what the directions are if you're going to be able to solve a problem. All right, so factoring is reverse or inverse distributive property. All right, it's writing a polynomial as a product of two or more polynomials. All right, it's writing it as a product of two or more polynomials, right? Okay, what are the two types of factoring methods we have learned? We've learned GCF, and we've learned the MC chart. All right, the MC chart. MC chart. So that's the multiply combine. All right. So those are the two types we've learned so far. There's going to be pretty much 4 that we've gone over. So what's important now is recognizing them. Okay? So today's just a lot of notes and a little bit of practice. How do we recognize GCF? GCF can be a binomial or a trinomial. There's always a common term. This is the key. There's always a common term. And a lot of times there's x's everywhere. So that's really your key to recognizing it as a GCF if there's x's in every single term. Okay? Pause the video, write it down. All right. Now let's practice. Factor the following. Pause the video. Try it. We've done all of these. All right. So number 1, what's the GCF? Is there a GCF for the numbers? No, it's just a 1. So then you have x squared and x. Take the smaller one. X, x. What do you get when you divide? X plus 8. Remember parentheses and put x on the outside. That's number 1. Number 2, you need to figure out your GCF. What do you think the GCF of these are? What goes into 25 and 30? 5. So 5, 5. And what's the GCF of x cubed and x squared? X squared. Remember, take the smaller exponent. When you divide, you get 5x minus 6. Make sure these x's cancel. If you have x's in both of these, you made a mistake. You know you made a mistake if there's a common term here. Parentheses, 5x squared on the outside. Okay? All right, last GCF practice. What's the GCF of 18, 36, and 9? Now, I've been hearing stuff like 3. So let me show you. Remember our trick to check our answer. I don't have to put negatives. All right, let's say you put 3. Divide 6, 12, and 3. Does anything go into 6, 12, and 3? Yeah, 3, sorry. 2, 4, and 1. Now you're done. So what's the GCF? 9. 3 times 3 is 9. So my GCF here is 9. 9, 9, 9. And then don't forget your x's. Don't forget your x's. Don't forget your x's. What is the x GCF? X to the 5th, x to the 3rd, and x. It's a plain x. Divide. What do we get? 2x to the 4th. 4x squared. Now here's the big mistake. What do you get here? 1. That's something divided by itself. Parentheses, GCF on the outside. And we're done. Okay? Don't forget 9 divided by 9 is 1. Show your work. People are skipping steps, and that's why they're making a mistake. All right, so that's the first type of factoring. The second type is our MC chart. How do we recognize an MC chart? It's a trinomial all the time. There's no number in front of x squared. That's super important. X squared, and there's no number in front of it. And also, the highest exponent is 2. If you had something like x cubed plus 2x plus 7, no. Even if this isn't even factorable, this is impossible to do. But because it's a 3, it doesn't work. It has to be a 2. It has to be a 2. Okay? Pause the video, write it down. All right. Now let's practice. Number 4, x squared plus x minus 42. And number 5, x squared minus 23x plus 60. Pause the video, try it on your own. So remember, we're writing our two sets of parentheses, x and x. What make our chart? What are we multiplying to? Negative 42. Now this one's a common mistake. A lot of students tell me you're combining to x. Can two numbers add up to x? No. What is the coefficient of the x? What's in front of it? Nothing. When it's nothing, it's a 1. You're combining to 1. Okay? You're combining to 1. Write down everything that multiplies to 42. 1 times 42, 2 times 21, 3 times, what is that? 14. 4 doesn't work, 5 doesn't work, 6 times 7. Now we're multiplying to a negative, so you make one of the numbers negative. Combine across. Negative 1 and 42 is 41, 19, 11, and 1. Oh, hey, 1. Our signs are right. There's no problem. So these are the numbers I'm putting in my parentheses. So the answer is x minus 6, x plus 7. Okay. And number 5, x squared minus 23x plus 60. This time we are multiplying to 60, combining to negative 23.